Hey y'all, it's Ryan, and we are back for another week here on Out of the Park Baseball 22, Episode 5. Hope everyone had an enjoyable weekend, and I hope everyone is excited to start another week. The last week of March, April will be coming very shortly, so this year is just flying by, at least for me it is. But I know you guys aren't here to hear about that. You guys are here to listen about your Colorado Rockies. I simulated to the end of the season. You can see that we finished 53 and 109. So that put us 52 games back in the NL West, and we were 37 games out of a playoff spot, or a wild card spot, I should say. We were the worst team in Major League Baseball, so we will have the number one overall pick in 2022. The next closest team to us was the Baltimore Orioles. They went 61 and 101, so they will be picking number 2. Miami went 63 and 99. They will be picking 3. And then we had a couple of 64 win teams in Texas and the Tigers. So that rounds out your top 5. Pittsburgh puts together a 66 and 96 season. They'll be picking 7th. I did not see the Giants here. They also went 64 and 98. So that's your top 7. And it was not, I did not envision losing 109 games year one, but as I said towards the end of the last episode, I think we just need to get through this season, build up the pitching staff for next season, and I think we'll be all right. As I said, we kind of have a lot of our offensive guys locked down for the most part. So Tapia, we have him in the outfield, so that's a spot we don't need to worry about. We got Blackman. He's not going anywhere, so that'll be a spot. Colton Welker, he had a pretty solid rookie season. He did get injured towards the end, unfortunately, but overall, his first season as a big leaguer, 99 games started, 103 games overall, an 873 OPS, a 124 WRC+. He had 17 home runs, 61 RBI. He scored 49 runs. So he had a pretty solid season. He walked 8% of the time, struck out 23%. He was a 2-win player. And that's pretty encouraging for a 23-year-old in his first action, making the jump from AAA. So I'm excited to see what he can do in the full season next year. Harrison Bader, he will be our starting center fielder. And as I alluded to in the last episode, his numbers offensively were pretty much the same. The on-base percentage was a lot lower, as was the average, but the slugging percentage increased, which it's not too surprising, being that he'll be playing a lot of his games in cores. The OPS was similar. He was a 1.1 win player for us. I'd like to see him be at least league average offensively next season. I hope that he can do that in a full season in Colorado. Only time will tell, but that's our center fielder for 2022, so that's locked down. We don't have to worry about that. Tommy Edman, I would not be against keeping him as my starting second baseman. There's another option that pops up. Maybe we take a look, but overall in the season, he was a combined 2-win player with St. Louis and with the Rockies. I said that I think his offensive numbers could improve to what he did in 2019 when he came to Colorado, and he was up there for a little bit. He kind of cooled down as the season went on, but overall he still did finish as a league average offensive player who provided some solid defense as well. So right now, that's a pretty solid second baseman. Miguel Rojas, another guy, despite only putting up a 713 OPS, he was a 1.3 win player. And you look in Miami, he put up a 669 OPS. He was a 1.7 win player. So that's a 3-win player right there on the back of his elite shortstop defense. So I would not be against. He does have a player option, right? Yeah, or team option. I would not be against bringing him back for $5.5 million to give us good defense at the shortstop position. And then we did call up Ryan Valade. I wanted to give him kind of his cup of coffee and just for something for the fans to kind of enjoy over the final month of the season. And in his debut, his major league debut, over 29 games, he started 27 of them. So he got a healthy amount of plate appearances and at-bats. He slashed 307, 352, 45, so an 837 OPS, a 119 WRC+. I don't really care about service time, manipulation, or anything. He's going to be our starting third baseman going into 2022 as long as he doesn't get injured in spring training or something like that. But it seems like Valade's going to be a really solid Nolan Arenado replacement for us. Not as good defensively, obviously, but offensively he should be able to carry the load a little bit, which is good. So that's another position. Then Roberto Perez, offensively, he was kind of a black hole. I did say that I would not mind bringing him back, but I would like to maybe see if I can get a catcher. Maybe even doesn't have to be 80 great catcher ability, but I don't think I can handle a 542 OPS despite how good he is behind the plate, because even though he is solid behind the plate, you can see he was a negative value player for us over the course of the season in the 100 games he appeared in. He has a team option for $7 million. I do think I'll decline that and just see, I wouldn't be against bringing him back, but not at $7 million. I think that could be better spent elsewhere, and we can find a different catcher that we can mess around with. Of course, the big objective this offseason is going to be acquiring pitching. I think in the bullpen, we do have solid pieces that we can rely on for next season in Jordan Hicks, who surprisingly did very, very well for us. He did better for us than he did for St. Louis, which normally doesn't happen. You can see that in 22 and 2/3 innings with us, he pitched to a 1.19 ERA and an equally impressive 1.54 FIP. He had 33 strikeouts to just 6 walks, so he is going to be slotted in at the back of our bullpen in 2022. Scott Oberg, a guy that his morale is angry, which is understandable, but he's a guy I wouldn't mind bringing back. Even with a 4.22 FIP, I still think, considering he's a Colorado Rockies pitcher, that's pretty good. Drew Rasmussen, he was doing solid with the Brewers. Another guy that did better after he got traded to Colorado, so he'll be in the bullpen next year for us. And Justin Tupa, I should have looked that up, had a pretty solid go-around as well as a middle reliever. I would not be against bringing him back. I mean, I will bring him back. So that's we have reason to be positive. We'll have Corbin Burnes in the rotation next season. He did not do very well for us, but I'm still confident long term. I'm still happy I made the deal that I did to acquire him. And I think that with a full season, I think the numbers will kind of get a little better. I'm not expecting him to do, a 3.48 ERA and a 3.76 FIP, but I think he can be better than what he was with us here. So it seems like his problem, he was just allowing a lot of hits. I imagine, he was allowing close to 3 home runs a game. He was allowing less than 1 with the Brewers. I think those numbers will even out, even though he is a Rockies pitcher. So I'm still confident in him long term. Other than that, the pitchers that we got, Alex Cobb comparatively wasn't terrible, but we're not going to bring him back. We're going to let him hit the market. Jose Quintana, I said it was going to be a disaster, and it was, but I just needed someone to give us innings, and he did that. Kyle Freeland started off strong. He got worse as the season went on, so that's probably a spot that we'd like to look to improve on. I mean, I hate to have to bring in 4 starting pitchers. In fact, I probably won't, but we do need to get, I'd say, at least 2 starting pitchers somehow, whether that's free agency, whether that's somehow on the trade market. But we do, the rotation obviously is the weak point. We have some strong bullpen pieces. We have some other bullpen pieces coming up through the system. We have a lot of money to spend, so we can maybe sign a couple cheap relievers to help us out, especially as we get later in the offseason. But the rotation is the important thing at this point. I think offensively we'll be all right, despite what these team stats say. I think offensively we'll be fine in 2022, especially with full seasons of Welker and Valade. But the rotation is really we need to put most of our resources this offseason. I think if we can get at least 2 solid starting pitchers in free agency to pair with Corbin Burnes and have 3 reliable starters, that can probably make us at least a 500 team. I'm not expecting to make the playoffs next year, but I would like to be a lot better than 53 and 109. So that is that. The assistant general managers of YouTube took the day off, but the media members, the Denver media members, definitely had a lot to say. So let's go through some of these comments from the media members. Love the trade with the Cardinals. Center field defense, infield utility, a flamethrower, and all young. That Bader extension is the cherry on top. I agree. I think, given the options that were out there, I was very excited to get that package from the Cardinals that I did. Harrison Bader, Jordan Hicks, and Tommy Edman. That's a pretty solid package. They all were positive contributors for us this season, and I think a full season with them will really pay dividends in terms of our overall team success. So I agree. I was excited about that trade. Really like some of the players you got. Burnes, Bader, Edman, all can contribute right away. I agree, as I've already said. I'm still confident in Burnes long-term, and I'm still confident in Bader and Edman, obviously. I commented too late on the last one for the Story trade. Either way, Burnes is going to be great. I agree. I'm still confident despite his struggles so far. Do you plan on making coaching changes in the offseason? A question from the media. I do not plan on changing the coaching staff this offseason. I'm still confident in them long-term as well. I think that Farrell and Glenn are the guys that we need, along with our first and third base coaches and our bench coach. So I'm going to keep all these guys. I think that I'd like to give them one full season with what should be a more talented roster. And then if we still get the same results, if we're still on pace to lose 90 or 100 games next season, then I'll fire the coaches. If that's the case, I don't think it's just all on the coaches. It's probably partly on me, partly on the guys not playing the way that they should. But if we're having another bad season like we did this year, that's when I would consider firing the coaches. But I'm going to give them at least one more year and see if this team can turn it around with them and their coaching spots. Love the trades. Think that's the option this team has to make, build up assets and prospects and use the cap space to make moves. And I can't say that I disagree. So those were some of the comments from around the Denver media landscape. And we are ready to move on to the off season. So you can see the playoffs begin today. I guess if we can go to playoff coverage, I'll show you guys. So the wild card game, it's the Yankees and the Rays in the American League. It's the Diamondbacks and the Padres. So two teams from the same division in both wild card games. And I guess we could take a look at the full standings, maybe some of the stats to show you guys. I don't think I ever really used to do that in the older series that I did. So you see the Toronto Blue Jays won the American League East with a 93-69 record, 2 games up on the Rays, 3 up on the Yankees. The White Sox won the AL Central pretty comfortably, 10 games over the Minnesota Twins, who did not make the playoffs. A solid showing for the Kansas City Royals, who went 81-81 in year number 1. The Los Angeles Angels win the American League West by 6 games over the Astros, 7 games over the Mariners and the Athletics. So the Mariners, once again, do not make the playoffs. They do not break their drought. In the National League, the Atlanta Braves won the NL East by 12 games over the Mets, 13 games over the Phillies, and 18 games over the Nationals. The Milwaukee Brewers win the NL Central by 2 games over the Chicago Cubs. St. Louis goes 81-81 on the season. And then in the NL West, the Dodgers, not surprisingly, have the best record in Major League Baseball at 105-57. And as I said, the Padres and the Diamondbacks are the 2 wild card representatives for the National League. So I will simulate through the playoffs. I will come back at some point. Oh, I guess I do want to show you this too. Sorry. I always forget about stuff I want to show you. September started off really, really rough for us. You can see throughout the first 19 days of the month, we won 3 games and we lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we started 3-15 at the beginning of the month. I guess you could really say we started 3-16. But then towards the end of the season, we actually started performing a little better, which was encouraging. Out of our final 4, 8, 9, 10, 11 games, we went 10-1 or 9-2. Sorry. Yeah. We went 9-2 over our final 11 games, which was nice. I think that probably was one of our better stretches of baseball this season. You can tell overall in September, it kind of helped us do like we had in previous months. The final 3 months of the season, we played to a .333 winning percentage. If we take a look at the team history, our Pythagorean win-loss this season, our expected record was 61-101, which would indicate that we probably got a little unlucky. But it is what it is. We will move forward. If we take a look at our front office, you can see that right now we have $40 million for free agents, $35 million for extension. So we'll have the money we need to make solid additions to the roster. But until we see who's available, it's hard to say what we're going to do with that money. But I will simulate to the end of the playoffs. We'll see who wins the World Series, and then we will get started with the 2021 offseason. Woohoo! All right, it is officially the 2021 offseason. The season is over. Your season score this year is 1. This is just a terrible score, Frank. I don't think in all my years of playing out of the park baseball I've ever gotten a season score of 1. So that's first for everything. All right. So let's take a look here. I will show you who won the World Series. So your World Series in 2021, and this save was the New York Yankees going up against the Atlanta Braves, and the Yankees swept the Atlanta Braves out of the World Series. So there you go. The Yankees, for the first time since 2009, have won the World Series. Rejoice, Yankees fans. Hopefully it won't take another 10 years. So we have finally reached the offseason. So let's do these option years first. We are going to void the last contract year for Roberto Perez, so he will become a free agent. We are going to void the option year for Miguel Rojas as well. I think if we want to re-sign him, we can, but I do want to see, I know this should be a strong free agent class for shortstops, so I just want to see who's out there. I want to see if anybody, I can get a good deal maybe. Ian Desmond, option year, he retired, so we didn't have to worry about that, which is good. Charlie Blackman, as we expected, he wasn't going to opt out with all that money. We take a look here, Charlie Blackman in contract. I did say I would be shocked if he opted out of making $21 million in 2022, despite the fact that he's angry. But at least, the argument now is he knows what he's buying into. So he will remain a member of your organization, hopes to be part of many future championship teams. If that was your If that was your prerogative, I think you made the wrong decision, pal. Regardless, here are the review of season goals. I've seen some people say I should turn these off. Some people say I should turn them on. I will say, if I'm in danger of getting fired next year, which I don't think I would be, but if I am, I might turn them off. But I'll leave them on for right now. I think for a YouTube series, it probably makes it a little more entertaining just to see if I can get through them. I've said in episode 1 I'm not really a fan of owner goals, but I'll keep them on for right now. We'll see how they go. So team record, this was a disappointing year for the Rockies. You may be happy with a 53-109 record, but I sure am not. I don't know where he got the impression that I was happy going 53-109, but okay. I thought I told you to find an upgrade for Charlie Blackman. I know he's been on our team for 11 years, but sometimes you have to move on to upgrade. It ain't that easy, Chief. I'm disappointed that you decided against committing long-term to Trevor Story. I don't expect us to see eye to eye on every point with this team, but I definitely thought we did on his value to our team. Once again, if the roster was better, I could have probably seen more of an argument to extend him. Sorry. Acquire player. Great job acquiring Corbin Burns. While I didn't specifically have him in mind when I sent you looking for a top player, he will fit the bill nicely. Okay, so we finally did one thing right in this guy's eyes. Long term, I gave you a goal in 2021 of making the playoffs in a few seasons. My deadline is not up. I only gave you the test last year and didn't expect immediate results, but you wanted us to play 500 ball. However, I'm not sure I feel too confident right now. I won't jump to conclusions, but I hope to see some progress towards this next year. I'm good with your performance in accomplishing the goals I've given you. I feel similarly about your handling of the team's on-field and front office management. Okay, well, that's promising. Next year is a new year, though. Here's what I'd like to see accomplished going forward. Play close to 500 ball again. That is I'd like to think that in 2022 that should be a realistic goal. I think we should be able to play close to 500 ball if we bring in the right guys through trade and free agency. Acquire a top player, so I don't know who that will be this time around. Increase attendance from 23,291 to 36,000. That might be a tall task. Keep building your team up in order to reach the playoffs in the next 5 seasons. New budget. You'll now have $170 million available for the total team expenses. This should allow you for a team payroll of $140 million. Ian Desmond did retire. We lost our scouting director, which is what I said. He was old. He's been in the game for a while, which is why I got John Mozeliak. So now I will promote him to scouting director. Unless there's a better option out there, I will take a look. We lost our hitting coach for one of our Dominican Summer League teams. The end-of-year prospect list, here it is. So Lawler, Rocker, Ariano, Allen, Clark. Okay, so Brandon Clark has made the top 10 prospect list, which is, wow. Okay, so that is really cool. Awesome. Let's see how he did. He didn't do great his first go-around, but he's 18 years old. There's still a lot of time. Not too worried. Royce Lewis, Luciano, Grosjeans, Green. Okay, yep. So that's cool. We do have somebody on the top 5. So I'm interested to see if we go to the farm system rankings. We are now, if we go, where are we? We're 9th. So look at that. We were at the bottom to start 2021, and now, I get it, the top system report in this game, it's not the end-all be-all, but we're now 9th out of the 30 organizations of Major League Baseball. So in just 1 year, in just 1 season, we have made some progress towards getting some good young talent into the system, which is nice. So that is that. Let's take a look here at salary arbitration, and we have a lot of guys up for arbitration. Michael Givens is a free agent. We're not going to give him a qualifying offer, certainly, and we're not going to re-sign him. We're going to let him hit the free agent market. Was not happy with his performance this season. I think we can get somebody better. And we're not going to re-sign Alex Cobb, Owens, Perez, Quintana, or Rojas. We're going to let them hit the free agent market. I'll go through these minor league free agents myself, see if there's anybody I want to keep, anybody that I don't mind letting go. But the biggest thing right now is the salary arbitration. Pro tip, the thing that I like to do is instead of waiting and going through the salary arbitration process, I like to offer them just an extension. And, okay, so this is different. So Corbin Burns is actually looking for a long-term deal. I'm not quite ready to commit to him long-term just yet. I do want to just give him a 1-year deal at an arbitration value. You can see that his arbitration estimate for this year is $1 million. You can try to go under that. I've seen, it's in the past, you have been able to go a little under their arbitration estimate. They'll still agree. I like to do it this way just so I don't have to, wait for the arbitration things to go through. I don't have to wait weeks. At least I know how much money I'm spending, how much money I'll have, who I have on the team in a relatively short amount of time. So I just like to go through it this way, ask for a response. And yeah, so you see, it's just a quicker way of doing things, and I could just withdraw that. So we're definitely going to want to bring back Corbin Burns. I'm just going through these guys right now. Jordan Hicks, the guy we're definitely going to bring back. He was a guy that I would have liked to sign to a long-term deal, but he just wants a one-year deal, which is understandable. As a 25-year-old elite reliever. I kind of wonder if we could get him for maybe just like $5 million, or if that would be too low for him. Okay, cool. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you can go under. I probably could have gone even further under $5 million, but I just wanted to do that, and so now we have him locked up. Tapia is a guy that we will bring back. If nothing else, I can always just keep him on the bench, maybe trade him, but I wonder, could I get him for like $2 million? But if there is a better corner outfielder out there, I would not be against bringing him in. So we're going to get Tapia for $2.5 million, and that was a little bit over his arbitration estimate. I guess I should have taken a look at that. Oops. Okay, oh well, that's, you live and you learn. So who else on this list do we want to bring back? Jacob Barnes, he was okay in limited time. I would not, he's a ground ball power pitcher. He did do pretty well for us until he got injured. So let's see what he's looking for. His arbitration estimate is $900,000. That's easy. So now we know that we're going to bring back Burns, Barnes, Hicks, and Tapia. Let's take a look here. Garrett Hampson, he does just want to be a bench player, but I feel like I can find a better utility bench guy somewhere in the free agent market. So we're going to let Hampson go. We're going to let Greg Bird go. I'm going to wait. We're going to let McMahon go. I don't think it's worth bringing him back. I was not very impressed with him. Senzatella, we're going to let walk. Chichi Gonzalez, we're going to let walk. Carlos Estevez, he has some intriguing ratings, but he was not very good for us in this past season. I could wait to see if maybe he figures it out in 2022. I mean, what's his arbitration? Oh, okay, well, he doesn't even want to come back. So I'm not going to go through arbitration with him and force him to come back. If he doesn't want to be here, it's fine. Jairo Diaz, he started off well. He got a little worse as the season went on, but an extreme ground ball power pitcher, I think, is kind of what we should be looking for here in Colorado. So he has no issues coming back. He wants $1.3 million. I wonder, could I just get him for a flat $1, or would he? No? Okay. Yeah, so see, sometimes it's just not worth it to go too far down. Could I get him for like $1.25? No, you still don't want that either. What about, like, can I save like $50,000? Okay. It's not really a big deal at the end of the day, but whatever. So there's Diaz. So we just have Stevenson, who is a fly ball pitcher. It's not worth bringing him back. Let's see. So we have Kyle Freeland. He's a guy that could eat some innings for us as a ground baller. If his arbitration estimate isn't too large, right? I see $6 million. That's a little concerning. Okay, he doesn't want to come back either. I would not want to pay him $6 million. He is not worth that in Colorado. So the last guy we have is Yancey Almante. I think this is probably a good guy that we'd want to bring back just because he is cheap rotation / bullpen depth. So if we offer him a contract extension, he does want to come back. Could I get him for $900,000, or am I going to have to give him $950,000? No, what about $925,000? Come on, buddy. You really weren't that good last year. Okay. So there we go. So that's all the guys that we're going to bring back through arbitration. You can see this hashtag next to them. That indicates that you've given them an extension offer. So Almante, Burns, Barnes, Diaz, Hicks, and Tapia are the guys that we're going to look to bring back out of our arbitration-eligible players. So I'm going to simulate ahead just a little bit. I'm going to do these minor league free agents off screen. And then I will come back probably around the time these awards get announced, maybe a little sooner. We'll see. But I will be back shortly. Okay, it is Monday, November 15th, so some things to go over. The AL Gold Glove Award winners are right here. So Erod, Austin Hedges, Matt Olson, DJ LeMahieu, Matt Chapman, Andrelton Simmons, Randy Arozarena, Byron Buxton, and Joey Gallo. And in the NL, Max Fried, Roberto Perez won a Gold Glove for us. Max Muncy, Kim, Arenado, Ahmed, Reynolds, Harrison Bader won a Gold Glove for us. We had 2 Gold Glove winners this year, which is good. And then Mookie Betts. In terms of reliever, it was Karinchak for Cleveland. He won it in the American League and in the National League. it was Chris Martin for the Atlanta Braves. I'm surprised that Jordan Hicks didn't get any votes at all, but that's fine, I guess. That's fine. He'll come back stronger next year. I had to do it this way because I had my mailbox settings wrong, but now we can go to here. The Silver Sluggers in the American League: Sean Murphy, Miguel Sano, LeMahieu, Jose Ramirez, Gleyber Torres, Randy Rosarena, Verdugo, Hernandez, and Nelson Cruz. National League, we did not have any Silver Slugger winners. It was Lorenzen, Smith, Freeman, Albies. Yep, Turner. Yep, no surprises there. If you'd like to pause, you can take a look. Top rookie was right there. NL top rookie, we did not get any consideration. I imagine if we had Valade up for the entire season, we maybe, but there are those. AL best skipper was Aaron Boone. NL's was Dave Roberts, not too surprising. The Cy Young in the American League was Giolito, and those are the rest of the guys right there. And I see Shohei got a vote. In the National League, did we get anybody? Oh, wow, I'm shocked. No, it was Trevor Bauer. So, no, he does not just have that Mickey Mouse Cy Young Award anymore. Now he has another one to add to his mantle. Take a look at Bauer. He is he's pretty good. Back-to-back Cy Young Award winner. And it seems like he didn't do very well in the playoffs, but that's fine. And the AL MVP was Gleyber Torres. The NL MVP, Ronald Acuna Jr. I think that's who I'm going to go with in real life. We did not get anybody that received an MVP vote. Shocked that a 53-109 team didn't get any votes. So other stuff, we got the guys that we wanted: Hicks, Barnes, Diaz, Almante, Tapia, and Burns, and the fans are slightly excited that we brought Corbin Burns back. We did get a new scouting director. We did not just move Mazaliak. We did get Bryce Flory. I did want to get a scout that favored tools more than one that favored ability, like our old one Bill Schmidt did. So since I had the opportunity, I decided to go with Bryce Flory. You can see that he's excellent at scouting amateurs and international. He's good at scouting minor leagues. He's outstanding at scouting major leaguers. I'm not too concerned about that. I think I can do a good enough job of that on my own. But still, it's a good thing to have. And yeah, the KBO posted 2 players. None of them are really worth our time. The only one maybe was this right fielder, but even still, it's not worth the posting fee. And Japan posted players as well. And once again, no one here that's really worth our time. I'm doing a Philly save, just a personal one. There was like an elite player posted, but unfortunately, it did not happen this time around for us. And we did lose our first base coach, so we do have to hire a new one. We did lose Ronnie Gideon to the New York Mets, who are hiring him as a bench coach. So now we have to hire if we go to our front office and then not schedule, personnel, we have to hire a first base coach, and then we also have to replace the hitting coach for our Dominican team. I will do that off screen, but the next order of business, if we take a look here, let's just make sure we got some of the minor league free agents back that we wanted to get. So we're going to let all these guys go. We're going to let these major league free agents walk to free agency along with Michael Givens, and we're going to let these arbitration eligible players hit free agency as well. So that is that. So if we take a look here, before we go into free agency, I always like to do this. I always like to just clear all the lineups and clear all the depth charts just to see where we're at. Oh, another thing that I wanted to do, because the DH is going to be a thing in 2022, for all intents and purposes, we are going to add the DH to the National League here in 2022 just because it will happen in real life. So we're going to do the same thing here. And that now adds just 2 lineups here instead of 4. So we know for a fact that Colton Welker is going to be our starting first baseman. We'll slot in Tommy Edman right now at second base. We'll put in Valade at third base. We know that Tapia will be in left field. Harrison Bader will be in center field. Blackman could either be the right fielder or he could be the DH. He could still play, I guess, a respectable right field, but I'd probably like to more have him at DH. So either way, we need a catcher because I don't want to give Dom Nunez the starting job. I'd like to find somebody better. So we need a catcher. We need a shortstop, and we'll either need a right fielder or we'll need a DH. And so that is that. We'll also try to get some good, solid bench players to put behind these guys. So that is that. We take a look at pitching. Let's just clear the pitching staff, and we will clear the bullpen. So we know for a fact that Corbin Burns, he will be in the rotation. That's the only known thing we have for the rotation right now. Uh, I'll probably end up just putting Almonte as the number 5. Just that's one less guy we have to get. So we probably need to get 3 starting pitchers going into 2022. We know for a fact that we will have Jordan Hicks, so we'll put him back in that closer role that he excelled at. We know that Scott Oberg will be coming back, so we'll be putting him back in his setup role 6 or later. We know that we will have, where is he? Drew Rasmussen. So we will put him in a setup role 6 or later. We'll have Barnes at middle relief. We will have him at middle relief. And so let's go here. We'll also have Diaz at middle relief. And then we could have Bowden. He did pretty solid as a long relief guy. So wait, why was he long relief? Really? I mean, I guess he excelled at it, so I guess we can keep him in. There's probably not the long relief that I'm looking for. We could get another one, but this is what it is right now. So the good thing, we do have a lot of guys that are set in stone, which is promising. So we have our first, second, third baseman, left, center, and either right fielder or DH. So we just need a couple things on offense. We need really just 1 or 2 bullpen pieces, and then that'll be that. We really just need to focus most of our financial and trade power on the starting rotation. That's the big thing. If we can get the rotation settled, we should be competitive this season or this upcoming season. So let's move on ahead to when the free agents officially file, and we'll see what's out there. Okay, so the free agents have filed. We see that some international free agents have entered the market. Here is our new first base coach, Jody Davis, so he replaces Ronnie Gideon. And so let's take a look here at the international free agents. We have, but he wants $21 million, but still, ground ball pitcher. It seems like this guy could maybe be someone we look to get if the demand goes down a little bit. We'll take a look here. We have, this is probably a reliever. So here's a reliever. He wants $13 million. His personality isn't great. Jose Rojas, that's not really worth our time. Is there anybody else here that's worth it? Not really. It's really just this pitcher right here, Takayasu Takai, and that reliever. Those are really the only 2 things, but we might take a look at this guy, but I don't know. He is already 31 years old. Not that it matters. We need any pitching that we can get. So take a look at who filed for free agency. So if we go to reports and info, free agents, let's take a look. Let's go with all players. Trevor Bauer opted out. Wow. So he did have the ability to opt out of his contract with the Dodgers, and I guess that he did. The good thing for us is that we would not lose our first overall pick if we signed a compensation free agent. Not that I think we would, but if we go to team home screen, front office, so we have $78 million to sign free agents with, $73 million for extensions. I don't plan on using $78 million, spending $78 million on free agents this year. But I don't know. Stranger things have happened. We'll see. If that's what it takes to get a couple pitchers, that's what it takes. Kyle Freeland's with the Dodgers. Kyle Freeland has signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Damn it. Oh, that's not good. He's going to come back and kill us. That's not good. All right. Well, free agents. Let's go back here. Let's take a look. So that reliever is the best player on the board, but there's some other good ones here as well. Francisco Lindor. So some of these guys are intriguing, but not for the money they're looking at. A guy like this, I think, would be pretty solid to bring in. He only wants $9 million. I think if there's not a demand, we could probably get him for even a little cheaper. Trevor Story did hit the market, so Milwaukee did not bring him back. He was not very good with Milwaukee in his time there. 765 OPS, 7% above league average, WRC+. He was still a 2-win player, but for $33 million, I would expect a little more. So we'll see who comes out as the winner for that deal. Lindor is obviously very, very intriguing at 28 years old too. I kind of wondered, I'm just interested to see how long of a deal he's looking for. Yeah, like see, I can't commit that long to that. I would not want to be on the end of that deal for so long. So let's take a look. Let's just go to starting pitchers real quick because we know we need some starters. So let's take a look to see if we can get any pretty solid starters. The signability is actually pretty interesting now. So Bauer would be a very easy sign. He is looking for an average annual salary of $41 million over 9 years. At 30 years old, that would be a very bad decision on our part. So we're not going to sign Trevor Bauer. We're not going to sign Max Scherzer. He's a little too old. Noah Syndergaard is an intriguing option as a ground ball pitcher. You can see that in his time with the Mets this season, coming back from his injury, he wasn't too bad. A 4.20 ERA, a 3.97 FIP. He only wants $19 million. And it would be an extremely hard sign. Take a look at the contract. He wants a 7-year deal with an opt-out after the 3rd year. So this is a contract that I wouldn't totally be against. I know somebody commented in the past to try to get ground ball pitchers. I think that's what we're going to need to do. We're going to need to try to get some ground ball power pitchers. I think that's probably going to be our best way to go about things in terms of pitching. Lance McCullers is an interesting option. He only wants $11 million. He didn't do very well for Houston in 2021, a 4.85 ERA. Struck out 24.6% of the batters he faced, walked 10.1%. Was a 1-win player. So we got some options here. Let me see. I can't imagine there's going to be anybody good on the trading block. Yeah, there's really not, which is not too surprising. In terms of pitchers, I should say there's some names here certainly, but not for what we're looking for. So, I don't know. There's certainly some options here. We'll take a look at catcher Travis d'Arnaud. We're not going to give him $23 million. Like a Martin Maldonado, though, I think might be kind of interesting. He would cost less than Perez was going to cost us. Mike Zunino, another guy. He has some power, which would probably play well in Coors. He did not play all of 2021. It seems like no team signed him. So the last year we have with him was with the Rays in 2020. I don't know if I really want to commit him to be our starting catcher. Yeah, a lot of these catchers, they're not super great. There's Roberto Perez again. He's only looking for $2.6 million. Well, then I don't know. A lot of options here. A lot of options. We do need, let's check outfielders real quick. So all outfielders, because we could use a right fielder and put Blackman at DH, which I wouldn't be against. A guy like Cole Calhoun maybe would be sort of intriguing. He didn't do very well for the Diamondbacks in 2021. Jackie Bradley Jr., of course, but we don't really need a center fielder. And I think his defensive capabilities would be wasted in right field. I also don't want to pay him $17 million to put up a 663 OPS. Jock Peterson, maybe in limited time, would be an intriguing option. I'm not too sure. He did put up a 151 WRC plus for the Cubs, though, in 2021. Hit 33 home runs. His offense, he wants $26 million. Like, I don't want to commit $26 million to one of these outfielders. We could bring Corey Dickerson back to Colorado. He did well with them in his time there. He would be, he'd be okay defensively. For $8.5 million, maybe that will go down a little bit as time goes on. We'd like to try to avoid anyone that has injury issues as well. Nomar Mazara would be an intriguing ad. He was a negative value player for the Tigers. All right, maybe not. So those are some of the outfielders. And we needed a shortstop. Oh, I just saw Gordon Beckham throwback. Let's take a look. So we got Lindor, Story, Correa, Iglesias. So it seems like Rojas wants $23 million. No. You're not getting $23 million. I'm going to sign Lindor for $35 before I sign him for $23. Iglesias, he ain't getting $20 million. Although, I feel like, the I rating is not great. I don't know. We have some options, I think. I think that's the overall. Especially with the amount of money that we have options. So you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to end the video here. Leave a comment. Who do you think we should target in free agency? I think this would be a fun way to go about it. I'll see who the people want me to go after, who we want to add to the Colorado roster for 2022. So tomorrow we will tackle free agency. After I see some of the comments, I'll do my own research and see who I want to add. But let me know, what should we do this offseason? Give me some guys. You saw the guys already. I'll go back to the free agents. So here are some of the shortstops that we could sign. We do need a shortstop. Here are the catchers that we could get. Take a look here. Nobody's really designated hitter. Here are the outfielders that we get, the top ones that are available. I'll scroll down a little bit because outfielders are obviously a little more widely available. Hunter Renfroe, Eddie Rosario could be interesting. Like to think that maybe he could be okay. I don't know. So there are the outfielders, and then here are the starting pitchers that are available. As I scroll down here a little bit, I see some intriguing names. John Gant is a guy that I know would be probably a pretty good long reliever, although I don't know how good he would be in Colorado. He is looking to be in the starting rotation, so that could be an issue. So Jimmy Nelson, a guy that's available. He did not do very well with Pittsburgh in 2021. So those are some of the starting pitchers that are available. Justin Verlander. We could take a look at a guy like he's an extreme fly ball pitcher that would not play at 38 years old as a Colorado Rockies pitcher. So there's the starting pitchers. We'll take a look at all of the relievers. And then here are the relievers that we can sign. So leave a comment down below. Who do you want us to target, or who do you want me to target in this offseason? So yeah, I think that'll be a fun way to go about it. As I said, if we go back to our lineup, we do need the catcher, shortstop, and outfielder, DH. Need rotation. We need maybe a couple bullpen pieces, and we have $78 million to work with. So let me know down below, who would you sign if you were me? I will catch you all tomorrow with another episode of the Rockies series on Out of the Park Baseball 22. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.